Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Medieval Total War Viking Invasion Northumbria campaign. And in this one I think things are really about to get going. This is one of those hinge moments in the Viking Invasion campaign especially, which feels so significant, right? We've just opened up a war with the Saxons, and the Saxons are of course in this very important war with the Mercians. Whoever comes off on top in this war is very likely to win the entire game, so we need to intervene. We can't just sit back and let this unfold. But it's very important how we intervene, and we've got a lot of troops up here right on our border with Mercia that's possibly contributing to them having so many troops posted in those provinces as well. But as you can see, Mercia's got kind of a lot of troops everywhere, so they can produce a ton. And right now the Saxons are in this province here, Huika, which is probably where they've got the vast majority of their troops. We've just done a naval invasion down through the Irish Sea, through the Severn Mouth, and we've taken Defness. In this episode, we're going to assault the castle here, the Warrior Hold. This is going to be a very simple settlement to attack, but it's important for us to do this to eliminate especially this unit here of Saxon Huscarls, which is the only unit of Saxon Huscarls that has any valor to speak of in the area. They do have a couple more over in Somerset, and they can certainly train them in Wessex itself. If we win here, we next need to give a lot of thought to how we're going to proceed up in the north. But the other concern that I have is actually farther north, because our war with the Saxons may put us into a bit of a tenuous situation with regard to the Scots. The Scots are allied with the Saxons are at war with us. And we've been neutral to the Scots ever since taking Ski off of them, which has been very nice. It's allowed me to peel troops away from this frontier, or at least to feel like I can. But lately the Picts have opened up a war with us over Fib. We've managed to hold them back. But this large army here in Athfotla, you can see the Scots seem to be building this up into something of a useful province for them, and they do have a lot of troops here, which would be a headache for us to deal with, and they could strike out at any of these three provinces. So with all of that, our economy is running a little bit low at the moment. We're building a lot of troops, and we have been upgrading buildings, but the economy of the Northumbrians takes a very long time to get going. It is heavily dependent on trade if you are in this part of the map. You can make a decent amount of money, but trade requires peace. And right now we do not have that. We do not have many neighboring factions we are at peace with. We've got the Irish, but they only have a couple of ports that we're trading with. Big deal. We're at peace with the Welsh, so we've got a few ports here and here, but it's not adding up to a whole lot. And that is partly because we don't have our trade on the eastern side of our lands in place at all, really. We've got some ships here. We're going to get another one in a couple of years, and then we can start trading with Mercia, but by then we're probably going to be at war with them, or very close to it. We can't even trade with the Picts up here because we're at war, so there's just a lot of things preventing us from getting our economy going, and I think the only way back is to conquer some of this rich land to the south of the Humber, whether that's down here in the along the English Channel, or immediately south in the lands of Mercia. This is where the money is going to come from. As sort of a side project, I've taken up evangelizing the Vikings. We've gotten several bishops into Hordaland, which is essentially Norway, and we have made some progress there. The Catholicism is up to 45%, so we're almost halfway. And down here in Jutland, we've got a few bishops, and we're up to 16% here. This is going to be a lot slower because they do have a pagan sacrificial shrine in Jutland. They have no such buildings in Hordaland. So I'm thinking maybe if we get enough spies and bishops here, we can get a rebellion and maybe take some of this land for ourselves. Interestingly, unlike the base game, which has the full map of Europe, in the Viking invasion map, there are some provinces which do not count at all in terms of victory, and that would be these very two, Hordaland and Jutland. So in other words, if you want to get a 100% victory for Viking invasion for this campaign, you don't need these two. You need to take everything else. So it's all of you know, Britain, all of Ireland, the Isle of Man, and Scotland and its associated islands. But you don't need to take these two. So this is not going to help us at all. But it's fun to do. Now, the reason I think that they left it that way is because normally the factions in Britain just can't get over here. We can't build ships to get into the Nordseer. This is a deep sea region, and we don't have deep sea boats, as you can see. We can't get them over there. Similarly, I think this is also deep sea. This might be deep sea as well. Yeah, we can't get ships here. We can't get ships over here, correct, even though we could move them there. We just can't because of the sea condition. So that means these are inaccessible, but these are accessible through agent activity. So in other words, we could bribe armies in Jutland. And if we do that, and we own Jutland, we can build a port, we can build our boats, and then these sea regions are not deep sea, so we could just get a normal fleet over here. But we would need an emissary, we would need to have ports. So maybe that's something I will think about. I wouldn't mind, actually, you know, converting a lot of the Viking area, causing some unrest, maybe even eliminating the faction, and then opening up the possibility that they would emerge somewhere where things are chaotic, like in the south. Wouldn't that be interesting to see a Viking faction emerge in Kent? So that's kind of a side project, but I think it's fitting for the kind of, you know, skullduggery inclined campaign that we're playing. But I think I've got everything lined up here. So we will queue this up. We're going to have a battle in Deafness, and all eyes are on Hwicca. We can see the Mercians are moving men in. And we'll see if the Saxons are going to retreat out of it. So here we're going to go. As you can see, this is going to be a very basic castle assault here. Alright, here we are outside Cridiantun. We'll just attack. The weather's fine. We've got some archers, and they've got only, I think, 6 men in a very bedraggled archer unit. So even when you have a warrior hold, there is still a stockade. And I think this might be a bug, because there is actually a stockade level of castle, which presumably would be would have this, right? And I think it does. I think this and the warrior hold, or this is the warrior hold, and then the stockade level is exactly the same in terms of the battle map. I would think, based on how it looks on the campaign, that this the warrior hold level would be entirely lacking in walls. But I guess they figured, okay, we can't be that. I mean, we can't be that unforgiving or harsh. So let's get our archers right up here next to the walls. There's no reason for us to play coy and you know, hang back because they don't have any ranged capability. These stockade walls can't fire anything, obviously. And we've got a couple of armor-piercing units that I'm going to put right here. Let's see. Our spear types can be behind a couple of ranks, I guess. And then we've got our landsmen, which are also anti-armor, but I don't want to use them in this battle. At least not against the Huskarls. So it's all going to be down to these units and the ranged guys. We do have horsemen. We could dismount them to, I think, just regular spears. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. We've got enough stuff. What I could do is just use them to attack the walls or something. But we've got a gate right here. It just might not be necessary. We'll get them like here. Start the battle, and yeah, our archers are already firing. So let's focus on you, the Saxon Huskarls. Don't really care about the Fearedmen or the peasants. But yeah, let's use some of these very under strength units. Now that I can see how they're disposed, we'll take out some of these walls that are far away. And yeah, I'll send the horsemen up here. Alright, so this is a full unit, 60 men. And there is another unit of Huskarls somewhere, actually. And okay, here they are. Sometimes the way these maps are set up, because they're so tiny, the reinforcements, or there need to be reinforcements. Like, all the defenders sometimes can't fit inside here, which is a little weird. So they will appear off the map as reinforcements. So again, it's a weird limitation. Okay, we've already killed 7 of them just with our archers. I'm going to save the kerns for when we get just a better angle, I guess. And I definitely want to charge, or have them throw their javelins into the back of these Huskarls, but you can see they're maneuvering around. They really don't want to get caught like the ranged guys. Okay, so that's the horsemen, and we'll just keep making holes. Might be close enough soon to hit those Huskarls. Yeah, okay. Let's bring you all up, I guess. Alright, only 2 archers. Oh, that's right, I have not saved my arrows. Okay, Alright, we want to take you off fire a little then. Where's that? There we go. Okay, we've got that wall, we've got that wall. Let's just run in here and take this guy out. That might encourage their units to move around, and maybe we can get some nice angles to shoot. Okay, down to 49. 48, that's good. Alright, taking out their archer. So, despite the pathfinding being very difficult, it can be nice to have some cav, I guess, for an assault. Right down to 47. And we are quite a bit far. Alright, but I think we could maybe grab some armored spearmen and start taking out some of these feared and peasant types. And that'll probably encourage the Huskarls to move towards me, which will get me some better angles with the bows. Alright, good. 43. I don't want to use up too many of these armored guys. Maybe we'll go with the feared men instead. Or even just basic spears. I'm anticipating some big counterattacks coming from the Saxons in, maybe not the next turn, but in a couple of turns, if they sort out the Mercians, which they might not. Okay, let's get the horsemen around, and we'll just keep opening holes in all of the walls. Because I think having gaps in the fences does make it easier for your archers to pick targets. Okay, so yeah, they're working away over here. But now my archers can hit you from this side. We do have a decent angle, but they're facing back too. And I'm not sure how their shields play in. Like when they attack, you can see that they actually sling their shield on their back, and I'm not sure if that actually changes the mechanics of how the shield protects the unit. When they're just marching, they've got their shield on their arm and they're holding the axe, but when they're attacking, they're going to use that axe double-handed. And I'd imagine the shield on the back would protect them a little bit against, you know, against attacks from that quarter. Alright, still got the horsemen selected. We'll come around here. Okay, are they going to rush out at us, actually? Ooh. Well, we are on skirmish. I guess I better bring my woodsman and gallaglasses back. They're not coming out. Yeah, we're out of arrows with this. I think, yes, we forgot to take you off fire at will, but we did take out some Huskarls here, some other units. Alright. "32 feared men here, 12 peasants, 50 feared men." Okay, so this might be a good time to bring you in. Let's bring you here, right in front of the gate. Alright, and we'll go attack these feared men. It's going to be a weird battle. Okay, but they're going for it. We do out-valor them quite a bit. Some peasants joining in. The Huskarls joining in. Okay. Alright, they're still staying back. So I think I'll bring my woodsmen against these Saxon Huskarls. Get the Kerns a bit closer to the gate. Alright, now is probably the time. Let's bring our general a bit closer too. We don't have to worry about archers anymore. Okay, we can hit you. Not all of them are going to be firing, though, as we'll see. The gate's going to be blocking a good amount of those arrows. Okay, make another hole, and I think that's it for gaps that we can exploit. Okay, so they're throwing in. I don't think there's any other units that are uncommitted. So let's bring the Gallowglasses through here. They'll go through the gate. And let's actually bring the Kerns up too. Engage at will. Still got 25 men. What do we got here? 59 feared men. So we've lost half. Alright, but the Saxon Huskarls are gone. The tiny unit is eliminated. There's a few peasants here. What is this? Some feared men. Alright. Let's see how the javelins do. Starting to rain, so the arrows are going to be a little less effective. Alright, 21. I'm going to get you Gallowglasses formed up into wedge. And as soon as we use all of the Kerns, we're going to send them in. I think we're killing some other stuff. Not too many of the Huskarls. We're getting some incidental fire. No friendly fire yet, from what I can tell here. The Fearedmen are holding quite well. We do have a few arrows left in that full unit of archers if we get a total break here. 15 Saxon Huskarls, a few more throws of javelins left. Alright, our woodsmen are catching some fire. The archers are still firing. I should probably just halt that. not much point with all the rain. Alright, we're down to fewer than 10 Huskarls. A couple of Fearedmen left. But we're gonna have to send in something else, too. Let's go with Spearmen. Fearedmen have done a great job so far. But they're gonna be going to the last man, it looks like. And look just how bad the close quarters is, because it's taking us forever to throw all of our javelins. We only throw, like, you know, maybe 3 at a cast because we've got all these buildings in the way.
The enemy general is dead.
Oh wow, okay.
Blackguard gone.
Let's get back. And let's bring in the gallow glasses. Okay, let's bring in the spearmen as well. You guys can turn off fire at will. The woodsmen are still fighting, actually. Alright, so we're putting the gallow glasses in wedge, and what that's going to do is make them attack even higher. It increases their attack value. It also decreases their defense value. So it means they're going to be more likely to take losses. But that's it. All of the enemy are now, all the Huskarls rather, are now dead. What do we have left here? Just one guy. It's even hard to select him. Okay, we got it. Alright, didn't lose a single gallow glass. Very nice. I think the Kerns did a lot of the work there, but the Fearedmen will be remembered because they went down to the very last without even wavering, I don't think. So we destroyed the warrior hold, but that's it. We've got the abbey intact, I believe. Spy captured in Sussex. Prince Eanred has a secret bad temper. Okay, I'll take it. Cannot control his temper. More than once, a minor argument is ended with the red mist descending and his opponents lying on the floor in a pool of blood. So far, such incidents have been hushed up. Again, this is perfect for our family, our angry, murderous, assassinating family. So +1 dread, +2 valor. That's all good stuff. And in deafness, let's check out the public order. Okay, very good. 185. We've got a nice army here. This will just take 1 turn to get a warrior hold. It's going to cost us 200, which is just what we have. So this is not adding up that great. But Lord Ethelwulf of our bribed Viking landsmen here has just proven himself in his first actual battle. He's got moral flexibility, but he has done well. So now we see what they're going to bring at us again. Okay, they can train Huskarls here. It's easy to forget this. The Royal Palace is the upgrade to the, let's see, I don't know if we'll see one down here, but it's the upgrade to this building, the Mead Hall. And so the Mead Hall, you get used to seeing buildings that look like a hall. And so for me anyway, when I see this, it just reminds me of the base game, and I think, oh, it's an emissary building, because I think that's possibly all that it does. Maybe it allows you to retrain Royal Knights, although I'm not even sure if that's it. But anyway, I think of it not as a building structure, but of course it's what we need to build our Huskarls here. So this is a very dangerous building to see, and it's masked by my associations of it with just emissaries on the main map. Okay, so they're training Huskarls to go and get us. All right, they can't train Huskarls here, or here, or here. But Mercia did not win in Hwicca, and they also were not severely weakened, so I think that's good. I think we will just wait. I'm not going to desperately attack Somerset. And so what may happen is Wessex will maybe move some of its men down into here, right, to protect. And Mercia may attack Hwicca and get it. So let's... I guess it's not super necessary that I keep eyes on East Anglia, because that doesn't border anything. It doesn't border the Saxons, so they're not going to lose it. I guess the Vikings could attack, but I don't think they will. Alright, let's see what else I'm training or queuing up just to cancel anything if need be. Alright, we've got some more troops here in Fib, and we've got a title, actually, that we ought to grant. Alright, nobody's good, though. Alright, I wanted you up there. You're the Thane of Kyle. Yeah, let's put you up here too, just in case the Scots get any ideas. We'll have more men. And we train some Fearedmen in Bernicia. Let's keep them up as well. I think we need all of these guys here. And our King Elfold I is, as we saw in the last episode, up to 4 influence, which is very nice. Nice improvement over the 3 that we had before. Okay, I think we'll just wait for everything else. Nothing is looking too bad anywhere. We have to keep, you know, the Welsh in mind, I suppose. They are allied with the Saxons. Oh no, they're at war with the Saxons. But they're allied with the Mercians. They're no longer allied with us because of the Pictish War. And so they could take a swipe. And the Picts kind of ruined everything for me here. There were, I think, a couple of alliances that have been wrecked. Yeah, the Irish, the Welsh, and possibly the Mercians, although I think I dropped the Mercian alliance in order to ally with the Saxons so that I could freely attack the Mercians. But we could, you know, the plus side is we could freely attack anybody because we got no allies now, and our influence is not going to suffer as a result. We can keep our king on the throne for a little while. He's 41, and he's got 4 influence, and so that'll hopefully tick upward a little bit as we keep conquering, hopefully. But our Prince Anred is, where's he? Right here. Yes, 29, married, secret bad temper, loyal. This is all very nice stuff. And then we've got another prince in about 6 years. So I guess we'll just end. Okay, Saxon's going into Essex, but not taking it. We've killed an enemy assassin in Deira. Good. Alright, famine is the last thing we need with our economy on a tightrope currently. And Redwald is... oh, this is bad. Secret blackmailer. Okay, we'll have to rejuggle the stack there. It doesn't do anything yet, but if it's revealed, then I think it's like -3 or maybe more. Lord Uhtred is a humanist. Okay, +4 acumen. Very nice. Alright, let's check you, Redwald. Okay, Secret Black... that's actually... alright, he's looking decent right now, but I had put him here because of his loyalty. You'll notice that, again, the way the stacks work in terms of who's going to lead it is somewhat dependent on the unit type. So because he's a Huscarl unit, he's going to be preferred over, say, an archer. So we're going to have to give this guy a title if we want him to lead the stack. Sometimes between, like, equal units, in terms of their rank, so to speak, you can stack one and they will take precedence, but that's not going to work here. Like the Fearedmen, he's not going to rule over the Huscarls. The Horsemen might. But no, the Huscarl is even going to outrank that. Okay, we'll just have to keep that in mind. And we were moving up, yes, Fearedmen to Fib. And so here, because our Woodsman has a title, that's what allows him to outrank our very disloyal Huscarl here. Okay, actually, Edgefrith, you're wonderful. I think he was probably a former prince. Natural leader, hard sums, yes. So, all right, I need to pay attention to this. So give him a couple of shields of loyalty and +1 acumen. So that's very good. 339. Okay, let's just check this. Yep, we're ticking upward with the Catholicism in Jutland and nearing 50% in Hordaland. It's going to need to get to... I think both of these are going to need to be a majority. And it may even be like more than 50%. It might be like you need to get all the Viking lands like 80% or so. I can't remember the exact number. But we will need to to leave them here for some time. And again, look at this. Loyalty 91%. Speaking of our agents, let's take a quick look here. Okay, one of our assassins. We got 2 assassins at 2 stars. So these guys, one of these guys has been doing interception of enemy agents, which is just great. Okay, here we've got 300 gold to spend. And it might be nice to go for a watchtower to keep an eye on things, because we can currently see what the Welsh have here. It's a lot of royal bodyguards. And they could train a lot of stuff, dude. This would be a nice province to get. It's got iron, it's got a decent income, it's got silver deposits, and they've built a lot. So if we do go to war, this is an easy one to take for us. But here, again, we mentioned last episode, this has iron, this has copper, and it's got horsemen with a valor bonus. So if we can get up to that level, we'll need to get to the stockade and then build stables. But that should work. Okay, they're training peasants now. Good. So the economy's hurting a little bit. And what do we have here? 2 Huskarls for 6 or 5.5. And the preponderance of their other units is actually a decent mix. It's feared, it's armored guys, they've got horsemen. It's not a ton of peasants. Like, you see a little bit more of the peasants, I think, in the Mercian armies, or at least you did. Yeah, like here, there's a lot more peasants. These are still massive numbers, and I'm a little concerned if we go to war with Mercia. So what I want is for them to start taking... If I'm going to attack them, they're going to need to be spread out a little bit. But of course they're not, because they're seeing me. Okay, no more ships being built, which means we can take one here. But we do have a Saxon fleet, which is kind of making things a little screwy. Let's attack it. Oh, they've got a longboat here. 1 star, 1 defense. We may as well, because we've got no defense. Oh, gosh. Are the Vikings at war with them? No, they're allied. Alright, let's attack. We might lose both of our boats. Okay, Mercians withdrawing from Essex. Okay, good. And look at this. This is also good. We'll see where it ends up, but I just love seeing how much they're willing to risk taking out of these border provinces. They've got a full stack in Lindisy still, because that doesn't border their enemies. But they've basically denuded Ruckensattin and Mercia itself to attack Quicca. And they're probably going to be bringing some troops over here into Essex as well. And they've got their king in Middlesex, which means they could be going for Wessex relatively soon here. And here's where the Saxon king is located. Alright, so we'll see how this shakes out. This is going to be just a massive battle. Alright, we did it. No losses to our own fleet. We just took out the Saxon ship. Very good. Okay, the Mercians are the strongest, of course. Oh, the Saxons win that one. Alright, good. I know it seems like I'm saying good every time something happens. I guess I'm seeing the advantage in everything. Now, let's see. We got our watchtowers. Lothian. Lord Edred has pride. Okay, that's fine. It's not good for acumen, but that's probably not a big deal. And Elfald's a magnificent builder, +2 loyalty. Perfect. So hopefully he's got another decade or so of life. We do have another princess, Ethelfrith here, or Alfrith. So we'll move her somewhere we don't have great visibility. Let's go to Essex right now, or East Anglia, because we don't have a line of sight here. We've got our bishop in Essex, and we'll see if the Mercians have enough strength to counterattack here next turn. But the reason I'm saying good all the time is because these big inconclusive battles are hurting the Mercians. That was a battle, that was not a withdrawal. And so the Mercians are, they no longer have like all the armies here that they used to. And let's see what they are. Okay, so they've got like 1 Huskarl unit. They got 1.5 over here in Ruckensattin. A lot of infrastructure. But they look a lot weaker now, right? And the Saxons have held this. Oof, I don't like the look of all these. They got like 8 Huskarls. Damn, okay. So what they're going to have to do, this is, I think, good, because it means no one is getting the total upper hand yet. And that means I don't need to make any crazy decisions about, okay, I need to go all in and invade some new place. They're gradually building up this, but okay, they've moved their Huskarls away, actually. So they don't see me as the threat down here anymore. They're moving them off to probably Huica. Got almost nothing in Dorset. Geez, we could take this. But regardless, again, the reason that this movement is good is that, like, if I attacked the Saxons and the Mercians just joined in and stomped them completely, then I would be left with, okay, I got Deafness, maybe I grabbed Somerset as well, but the Mercians, like, take Huica and Wessex and, you know, this. That's still really not good for me, because the Mercians are in a strong central position with a lot more territory, with no rival. The fact that the Saxons still have a commanding presence means that the Mercians are going to have to move their troops around a lot to deal with them, and that's going to open up opportunities for me, and they're going to weaken some of their troops, hopefully, as well. So hopefully we'll just manage to ride this out. 403 expected this turn, so what do we want to build in Deafness? I think we got to go for the Stockade. We can't train anything here, and I want to be able to train stuff before I move out because, well, I don't want to leave anything behind here of these troops. I could leave the Spearmen maybe, but let's see. The title here is okay. But I've got to remember also that our king's traits are giving all of my generals +2 loyalty. Right? And so our next king is not going to have the Magnificent Builder trait, and he's probably going to have lower influence to boot. That's going to be this guy. This guy right here, Prince Anred. So, you know, this is not going to be fantastic for the loyalty of our guys. 18% and 49, almost at that 50% mark. Let's see. I guess we don't need the Bishop in Dalriada, right? Send him up to Hordaland as well. And let's visit the Irish, because it has been a while. Donchad II, 25 years old, strange, nervous. And there's no family. No princes. Was that always the case? 17%, that would eliminate the faction. And did we say that this guy's married to an Irish princess? I think what I wanted to try to do was get an alliance with the Irish again. And so maybe let's try for another ceasefire with the Picts. Right, they're our only enemy. Or we are their only enemy. And let's see, they're allied with factions that I'm not at war with, at least. So it's been a few turns. We haven't done anything. You know, if worse comes to worse, I guess I need to think about attacking this. But I'm worried that that's going to make the Scots nervous, and they'll attack us. And the Scots are not allied with the Irish either. So maybe that'll be the next move. Because I've got enough men here for it, honestly. Alright, let's just check public order everywhere. Okay. If they don't accept a ceasefire, I will seriously move to take Monoth. Okay, Wolfhild is spinster now. On rest in Essex, okay. Interesting. And that's just, it's not even a loyalist revolt. So there must be, maybe there's a spy here. Alright, we've got a Mercian spy in Dara. Now, they could just be using our port, just moving through. Alright, rejected ceasefire. Okay, we could absolutely take this. Again, this is going to spread us out even more. But Monoth does have some infrastructure. It's got a port, it's got an abbey. Let's see, we could leave Walfrith behind and just send everybody up here. And the terrain is going to be favorable to them, flatland and mountains, but all they've got is one Celtic Warriors unit. That's pretty poor, honestly. Okay. I think I'll risk it, even though, you know, if they strike Dalriada, we may very well lose it, the Scots, because we might not be able to get there in time, right? But if we take this, then we can get an automatic ceasefire with the Picts by either withdrawing our boats out of their waters, or because we don't have a land border, maybe they will just agree to a ceasefire. So yeah, let's, since we're not training anything else, let's go with that assassin right now. And we've got +2. We can go up to a rookery. And to do that, we need to get the fort level. We don't have the funds for that. So let's just train another assassin. I think we've only got those 2 in Deira, yeah. Still no border forts here, but they got plenty of assassins themselves, so they've probably got a nice counter-spy network going. Alright, but that's pretty cheap anyway. Next turn, we'll be heading towards stables, hopefully, and here, yeah, this is just, it's a very strong revolt. A peasant revolt led by mounted nobles, 4-star command. Urban militia, spears, and archers. So a very interesting little mix. I don't think the Saxons would keep it. But again, status quo here. And I'm not interested in changing that just yet. Mercians going in again to Wicca. Alright, and we invade Monoth. So let's do a save here. The terrain doesn't look too bad, actually. But I think we take this, we might be able to get it clean if I can pay attention. Let's wait. Okay, fine, throughout the day, very good. So we've got enough cavalry here that we could run them around. Okay, they've got some men on the hill. Peasants and spears. Alright, and there's their general, Celtic warriors, and there's the peasants. We've got, actually we've got no archers. I think that's fine. Saxon Huscarls are really not going to be that useful here. Because I think we can do everything with our cav and our spear types. Alright, good. They're coming closer. I think it's time for me to move my cavalry away. And I just want to get them around. Oh, my Gallo Glass is just charged. That's cool. Beardmen attack those peasants. And the Gallo Glasses are going to win, damn! That's a very cool little mechanic, charging without orders. It's something that I don't see all that often. Right, who's breaking? There we go. And the horsemen. Okay. See if we can get them. So I would love to just take this without having to besiege the fort. We stand an okay chance of it. They've got a long ways to run, but they do have a lot of troops here. And it's not like in Rome where your cav can just very easily run down infantry. But I think we got it. We're down to 11 men. That's really everybody, right? Oh, yeah.
The enemy general is taken.
Perfect. Alright, so I think that was it. I think that was it. We control the province. Wonderful, but oh my gosh, we wrecked the place. Destroyed 3 facilities outright, damaged 2. So one of them is obviously the castle, which got damaged like, I think, more than 1 level. It's down to the warrior hold now. We at least got some cash out of it, but still, that's not ideal. Okay, Hwicca again. The Saxons are putting up a really stout defense here. Okay, and look at this. Rockensetten is very, very weak. We might not need to attack the Mercians if we can carefully work up through the Saxons as they progress into Mercia. Right? If the Saxons can do that, just kind of like take Rockensetten, then we could attack it, right? Now, we're not allied with the Mercians, so we won't be joining them on the battlefield. We're the richest, my gosh. I'm not expecting that. Okay, get another assassin. Okay, very loyal. Too bad he's going to be the king. That's just not going to be useful at all once he takes over. Okay, still no heirs showing up here. 27 years old. All right, we're making almost 700 this time. And let's see if we can go for stables. Oh no, okay, it's the 3rd level. We need the fortified village. Well, let's do it, right? We may as well anyway. That's only going to take us 3 turns to get the fortified village. And, okay, they're training housecarls now. But yeah, they are, you know, they're down to 3 stacks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 housecarl units. And they are training more. And they've got a Harold I. I think he's a new king. Unhinged Loon. Convinced that he's been made pregnant by an elephant, this man inspires nothing except pity and contempt in equal measures among his followers. -3 morale, -30 happiness. Okay. So that's possibly why we're getting some unrest here. The loyalty is really bad. If I had a spy, we could maybe do some more damage in Essex for them, but I wouldn't want to. I kind of want them to, I think I want them to continue doing well against the Mercians, or at least well enough that the Mercians don't start doing super well, because those big Mercian armies are very intimidating. Okay, we're now over 50% here. That's great. 53%. And the new king of the Vikings is Olaf I, 25, crack-brained. This man's habits of dancing in moonbeams, painting his servants blue, and sucking horseshoes has led some to suspect he may be unbalanced. All right, so that is the less bad version of what the unhinged loon trait that the Saxon king had. But yeah, loyalty on these guys is very poor. Most of them anyway. But still a very formidable army. So if we can get a rebellion here, that would be super nice. Maybe we can try that. We can try shifting you down here. Just to throw them off a little bit. Our spy might get caught. Alright, we've got a 3-star assassin now. Okay. We're still at war with the Picts. Now, the Irish don't have any fleets, so I don't have to worry about them invading, at least for a little while. Can they even build boats? They can. Okay, so they've got this slipway, so they can get longboats as well. All right, so let's try it. Let's try peace with the Picts. And just in case that doesn't work, I'm going to pull the ship over here. Because if we have a turn of no contact, I think we're going to get an automatic ceasefire anyway. Now, let's see. Would we want an alliance with the Picts, actually? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say no to it. Influence still at 4. All right, let's dip into our treasury a little bit for one more assassin, since we're waiting anyway. And, I don't think I want to train any more troops. We're building down here, but we may want to do some investment up at Monoth. We can build our woodsmen and feardmen. Thankfully, we've still got the abbey, but everything else is looking rather poor. But let's go for some feared, I think. We've got a good general here who can keep watch over them. Let's build a watchtower. Crank taxes up to very high. Okay, 709. Oh, yep. There go the Scots. Okay, we're gonna have to go to the stronghold, I think. Got 100 Fearedmen. I mean, let's see. What's the terrain look like? I don't think we can win. They've got enough archers to chew us up and then send in some Highlanders and flank us with Cav. We could do some damage, but I think we want to retreat. I know that's not good, but I think we're going to lose it anyway. Okay, ceasefire is rejected, so I'm glad we moved the boat away. Anred is most loyal, so that gives +1 dread, actually. So now this is good. We're starting to get some traits that will carry over to when he becomes king. And he's fervent. All right. All right, what are they building? Feared here. Not leaving any Huskarls nearby except for this one in Dorset. But no big moves. Okay, sort of at a stalemate in this war. This is a very slow-moving war. But I think the Mercians... Or, geez, the Saxons, look at this. They're just completely undefended here. The Mercians are going to need to realize that I am not a threat, even though I am. And strip away some troops from the northern border to go garrison East Anglia. Right? Otherwise, they're going to lose that. Middle Anglia, I mean, that's where your real enemy is. All right, but I think we just want to keep taking it slow. 12 Florins this turn. So, yeah, okay, our feared men are nice and loyal. Let's leave them in Monoth. And let's move this army somewhere. Yeah, I think we want to go for Fib. And, like, hope they don't withdraw. I mean, I could also attack Athfotla. So this is interesting, because if we attack, it'll be mountains, which does not say flatland and mountains, or even hills and mountains. Right? So if we're crossing from Monoth into Athfotla, it's going to be mountains, which suggests to me that they're not going to have necessarily a big advantage in terrain. So, like, do we maybe say lose Fib temporarily? When is this going to fall? 2 years. So they could assault and take it, like, next turn, right? And that would be unfortunate. We have invested in this. We've got a trader and everything just waiting to go. But we also have... Wait, what's... Oh, okay, that's the Viking ship. Okay, here's another boat. Let's make sure we attack the Saxons and not the Vikings. Try to get rid of that again. So they're setting up like one boat at a time just to be annoying to us. So do we try to take back Fib? The risk here is that they just withdraw back to Athfotla, and then it's an annoying kind of situation. If we attack Athfotla, they've got a lot of infrastructure here, and honestly, this makes us as much as Monoth. Let's do that. Let's go down to normal. Alright, we're still technically at war with the Picts. Why is that? We don't border them. I think we have to give it a turn. We've got our agent here. Let's try a ceasefire again. And indefinite still 2 years for that. 1955. Okay, and what's loyalty here? 91. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So they're going to have to bring that down. Or, you know, kill my spy, I guess. Alright, so we're attacking Athfotla. Is that the Vikings hitting East Anglia? Oh my gosh. Ho 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 ho, alright. Okay, so we are invading Athfotla. They're not withdrawing. They may, I can't remember if they queued up an attack on Fib. They may have. But we're definitely going to attack Athfotla. So this is lots of peasants. They have some archers, so that may be challenging, but we've got a lot of cav. Probably the biggest problem here is going to be this little combination, unit of Highland clansmen and armored spearmen. But I think we've got enough to overwhelm them. So that is going to be the next episode, folks. We're going to open up the next one with the invasion of the Highlands of Athfotla. Once we get this commanding position, which is very important strategically, I'm realizing, in the middle of Scotland, because obviously, it controls access to all these other coastal, more wealthy provinces. Once we take this, we can then turn this army down south, take back Fib if the stronghold has already fallen, and then probably mop up the rest of the Scots. Honestly, I see no reason for us not to conquer all the way up to Kate and indeed the Orkneys. But we'll have to wait for that in the next episode. I'll see you then.